Has that imbecile departed? Good. Welcome to Omnicore 1. This advanced computer runs the datascape, a virtual world where my shattered neural core resides.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tiny Blue Games. My name, of course, is Cesar Chris, and today we're talking about Wildstar, which I know is very exciting, and I know I don't talk about it enough, but believe me, it's always got a place in my heart, and whenever I do have a video I want to make for it, I'm super excited to make it. And today we're talking about the fact that Wildstar is actually 4 years old, which is really crazy to think about, because it doesn't seem like the launch was that long ago. It's weird because it's one of those games that I was actually super excited about before it even launched. Like, it was one of those games that I was following every little piece of news I could get about, and there's not many games, or there wasn't many games like that. There are a ton now, like Ashes of Creation and all these, games that seem like they're never going to come out. That's kind of what Wildstar seemed like for a really long time. It was kind of this rumor that it was going to come and shake up the MMO world, and then it did. And we know, the story of what did happen. And we're not going to focus too much on that because it is a sad story. But let's be honest here, it's not as sad as it could be. One of the biggest realizations I've had with, the game being 4 years old now is that it's been around for a really long time, and it's actually done pretty well for itself. Like, let's take a look at, some other games that have sort of gone and are come and gone in that time. Like, a sad particular one for me was Paragon, which was a MOBA by Epic Games, and it didn't even get to full release necessarily. I think it'd been around for about 2 years, and it's completely gone. You can't play it right now. They released the assets to their game store, but it's gone. And it was such a good quality game, and I followed the community with it. I even made a video about it myself, and just seeing a game actually disappear like that is such a different thing from, although Wildstar has a low population, you can play it. You can log in, and it's a great time whenever you do. It's just such a different thing. And the other game that I did follow a bit was Gigantic, which was out for maybe, I don't even know if they were out for a year before it got pulled, which is just crazy as well. I don't know. It really puts in perspective, the fact that the game is sort of still ticking. Like, I don't know. That's mostly what I want to focus on. I don't want this to be a very sad video or about what Wildstar's become. I actually wanted to share some screenshots I had from my beta experience and sort of progressively through my Wildstar time. Because what I would do, obviously, is take screenshots from time to time for videos I was making, or just to keep them. Because people who follow this channel might know that I actually started doing videos for Wildstar from beta. And then I've periodically been doing videos for the entire time from then until now. There's several times where I haven't put a video out in a really long time. There's also times where I've stepped away from YouTube for a long time too. So there are little gaps like that, but I've definitely always followed Wildstar. So I thought it'd be fun to share some. This is the first screenshot that I ever took of Wildstar. It's on my Engineer. This is the old UI of the Engineer. That's what it looked like. Nice and clunky, as you can see. And I guess I wanted to talk a bit about the Engineer, because the Engineer is one of my favorite parts about Wildstar. It's such a unique class. I mean, obviously you don't see engineers in a ton of games. There is one in Guild Wars 2, but this one's significantly different. I think it's different particularly because this game does have defined roles, and it's really hard to define an engineer. They're kind of the masters of a lot of different trades because, they have gadgets to do different things. So the fact that it's a DPS and it's a tank, but it's range, it's just such a unique class, and I definitely feel like it lived up to everything I wanted it to be. And the other thing is that they did turrets right. Having them move, having them interact in different ways. Guild Wars 2 has turrets, and they've had turrets on their engineers for about, 6 years now, or however long the game's been out, and they haven't ever done turrets super right. They always make them so that either they're completely useless, way too powerful, or the entire point of them is to blow them up. I don't know. So I definitely respect that. The next picture I have is of the golden toilet, is what I like to call it. This was from the first adventure I did, and I found this on my character, and for me it just looked like a golden toilet. I don't know what it actually is, but the main thing I wanted to talk about is how excited I was about adventures at the time. The idea of having content that would change dynamically based on a group sounded so different, so refreshing, and it really was. I mean, obviously the issue became that there was going to be a fastest way to do things, and if you're in an MMO, people want to get things done as fast as they can, so it's gonna get pretty repetitive eventually. But definitely going through it the first time, right, the first few times, it made it such a different experience each time, and there's not much I can say other than it was just a thrill. It was really exciting, and I'm always going to remember those first few groups I went through, the different adventures with, even Malgrave Trail. For God, I've grinded that thing so many times to get like a specific claw or something like that. I don't even remember what it was I was getting, but I ran that thing forever, and I think I did get it in the end, but it was crazy. So the next picture here I have is of the Esper healing animations. Now, I didn't actually roll an Esper right away because I was going to be our tank, right? My friend was going to be the healer, and he chose Esper, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I get it. It's a very traditional healer, but when I saw these animations, like the coolness of it, like the lanterns, the fish, like it just looks so cool, and people don't put as much character into a lot of animations. Like, they can be flashy and stuff like this, but you really got a feel for what the Esper was or what they were trying to be. And I very much appreciated that, and I thought it was such a cool class. And I eventually did make an Esper myself as my primary healer just because of how cool they got to be. I mean, hey, you got like a leap forward that looks like a unicorn, kind of. Like, I don't know. It's just a really cool class. The next one I had is, this one was a thumbnail for a video, and it was a really secret thing that I just kind of stumbled on myself, where you'd go interact with like a mushroom, and you'd get shrunken down, and you'd kind of go into this cave, and it's more of an Easter egg to Alice in Wonderland with this guy, in my opinion. I definitely think it is, but it was a really cool thing to stumble upon. I think that's some of the most magical times in any game you're playing, where you're just doing quests or something mundane, and you actually take the time to explore something because you don't know what it is, you don't know what's inside, and it gives you just enough clues for you to go and want to see. And this was one of the few times that's ever done that for me, because I myself am one of those people that tries to get to max level as soon as I can, and anything like this didn't give me any XP. Anything that was cool enough for me to stop getting XP and go and really explore something has done it at such a good level that, you know, I have to be impressed. So this was so cool, I made a video about it, and I definitely stand by the fact that this was one of the coolest discoveries I ever made in this game. The kind of last thing I want to do, this is another screenshot I had for when I did my big casuals guide to the hardcore, right? Because that was the whole Wildstar thing, is that this was a hardcore game, and I maintain till today that you can play almost any hardcore, and I'm, you know, doing the thing with my fingers where I where I give quotations. Any hardcore game can be played by a casual if you're willing to be very specific with how you spend your time. And I definitely have such good memories of going through that and really enjoying it and getting to learn my engineer. I think the series I did on Wildstar throughout the years has always been one of my favorite YouTube moments. It's definitely generated some of my best fans. There's very rare that I have fans that actually go onto recent videos I post and ask for me to make more videos about a specific game. And it's very touching, and I always want to make videos about a game when I can. And I never want to make videos about a game because I feel like I have to, right? That's never what you want, because not only is it not fun for me, but the video itself is never going to be as good as, it would be if I think of a video and do it like that. For instance, I was playing Guild Wars 2 when I was like, how long has Wildstar been out? And that's kind of what led me to this. And I was like, oh, I should do a whole thing talking about, how long the games have been out and sharing a lot of these old screenshots I still have on my computer. So I definitely think that's a really good way for me to make videos. The issue with it is it's not regular content. There could be a fair bit of time without a video, and then, as you've seen recently, I've done a bunch of videos pretty quickly here in the last couple of weeks. So that's always an issue, but I definitely think this is the best way to do it, and it's kind of what I enjoy doing the most. So yeah, this video didn't really have a point, I guess. It was just me sharing what a great game Wildstar was, what a great game Wildstar still is. I mean, the fact that you can play it, it's free, and there's just, if you hadn't played it or hadn't played it since launch, the amount of content you still have to do is crazy for a free MMO. Like, jump in there with a bunch of buddies, and you'll have a great time. So I can't say enough good things about the game. I am sad still to this day that it doesn't have the population it deserves. But hey, it could be worse, right? That's always the thing. So guys, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.